Okay, let's get started. So back in a couple units ago, what we talked about was difference of squares. You know you are doing a difference of squares when you have a subtraction and both of your numbers are able to be squared. So that means like 2 times 2 is 4. So here's an example of what we did prior. So we know that my a for this value is 3 and a squared is 9. So that's where we got the 9 and the 3 from. And we know my b is 4 because 16, the square root of 16 is 4. And that's where we got this equation from. So I'll give you a little bit of time, or you can pause this and you can go ahead and write these few numbers down. So we know 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8. That'll really help give a good reference. Okay. So let's get started with this first one up here. So we have a new formula that is called the sum of cubes. This is its equation. So when you have two numbers and they're both able to be cubed root to a single number and they're being added together, this is their formula. Okay, so let's take a look at this first one. My a value would be 1. My a cubed would be 1, right? So my a value would be 1. My next one would be my b value. My b cubed is 8. So I'm going to look at my chart over here. Which one has an 8? Oh, this one. So that means my b is going to be 2. Then from there, it's just a really simple plugging into the equation. So first, I'm going to have a plus b. So this is an x, by the way. So we have x's here. So I'm going to have x plus 2. That is my first parentheses. And x squared minus 2x, because when we combine a and b, I'm just going to combine my a and b, plus, what is b squared? 2 times 2 would be 4. And that's it. This would be our answer for this first one right here. All right, let's take a look at the next one right here. 16x cubed plus 250. Now, as you can see, 16 and 250 are nowhere in this equation. So let's factor out, so like what we did yesterday, we factored out something they have in common. Pretty simple thing we could do is factor out a 2. They're both divisible by 2, right? So if I were to factor out a 2, 16 divided by 2 is 8, and 250 divided by 2 is 125. Excuse me. Okay, now do you see these numbers? Yes, we see 8 and we see 125. So now it's very easy. Hey, my a cubed is 8. That means my a is 2. My b cubed is 125. That means my b is 125. That means my b is 5. Let me separate this. So again, pretty simple, just plug it into your equation. Now remember, my a is the one that is going to have x's, right? So I just plug it in. What is my a value? 2x. Plus my b value, 5. Parentheses. What is 2x squared? Well, what's 2 times 2 itself? Again, 4x squared. And then minus, because it's minus, ab. So 2x times 5. Well, what's 2 times 5? 10. And keep that x, and then b squared. So what is 5 times 5? Yes, 25. And that's it. So pretty good idea to have this formula written down, memorized, however you would like. All right, now let's move on to the last part, which is difference of cubes. So what we just dealt with was the sum of it. So you know it's the sum when you have them being added together. Now we have one a little bit different, same idea though. Now it's the difference of cubes. So let's take a look. My a value, my a cubed, is going to be x cubed, which is a 1, right? Because a number in front of, if there is no number, it's going to be implied that it's a 1. So that means 1, my a is going to be 1. Remember, don't forget that x. Excuse me. Now 64. B cubed is my 64. 64, that means my a is going to be 4. And that's it. Just plug into your equation. So my a, which is x, minus 4, because it's my b, then continue off. So x squared, because a squared, plus ab, so a times b, that would be 4x. And then b squared. What is b times b? What is 4 times 4? 16. Not too bad, not too bad. Highlighting skills are terrible, but ignore that. Last one. Let's separate this. So my a cubed would be, what is my value for a? 125. So that means my a is going to be 5. So here I have 125x cubed, meaning my a would be 5x. What about my b? My b cubed is 8. Oop. That means 8. That means I'm going to go to my 2 is my b. Excuse me. Now, again, just put it into the formula. So 5x minus 2, then a squared, so 25x squared, because I also have to square my 5, plus, what is 5x times 2? Well, what's 5 times 2? 10, and keep that x, and then b squared. So 2 times 2, right? 4. And that's it. This is the entire thing.